Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Richie here, back again from the Red Planet Gaming, bringing you more EA UFC 2 gameplay. This time I am continuing my journey in the whole online ranked mode feature in this game. Again, just as the last video I gave you guys, I'm trying to get myself a little bit more well-versed in this game. So I saw that it gave me the women, and of course I gotta go with my girl, Ronda Rousey. I was looking around, seeing who else that there was, and as soon as I saw her, I'm like, you know what? I'm going with Ronda. I was gonna go with Holly Holm, but I'm glad I didn't, because then this happens right here. The dream match. Rousey versus Cris Cyborg. And I immediately had like a huge smile on my face. I literally said to myself, as soon as that little screen popped up, I'm like, oh my god. So this is going to be interesting. Pretty much everything is all identical. She has 1 year, 1 inch, and another inch above me, and I think about 5 pounds. So you know what? It's all good. All pretty much the same. So, these two always constantly kind of talking trash to each other on Twitter and the social medias of the interwebs. Primarily more Cris Cyborg on her part. And I think just recently she was like, oh yeah, I'll fight Ronda Rousey in a WWE ring, blah blah blah. When just a little while ago there was this whole thing with Cris Cyborg and WWE's Becky Lynch, and they were like, yeah, I'll fight you, blah blah blah, SummerSlam, and then nothing happened. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But it is kind of cool, even if it's not in the way that we wanted to see MMA and pro wrestling kind of intertwining with each other. As well, on top of that, seeing Ronda Rousey and her friends cheering on Shayna Baszler at the Mae Young Classic just not too long ago. I thought that was pretty cool. So, and then there's always the rumored 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match, which is Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Sasha Banks going up against Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, and 2 of their friends and all that good stuff. I forget their names. Sorry. Kind of just being tossed around the idea for Survivor Series, and if they don't do that, that's a money match right there, so that'd be very foolish of them. So again, show respect. I was very astonished that I got it for a 2nd time in a row. So I guess there are some pretty decent players out there. So she started off with the low kicks, and then she's going with them high kicks. Them roundhouse kicks look deadly, so I do have to be careful for those. So I kind of keep taking steps back. I'll throw a quick midsection sort of kick, and then I'll just go back into guarding. Again, I clipped her right there, and I clipped her again. And she's just still going with those high kicks. Thankfully, she's not throwing too many of the roundhouse kicks, but she's playing smart as well. She's trying to hit me with those low kicks on the inner thigh. So I decided to go a little bit low and take a couple of jabs to her midsection and try and catch her off guard and clip her in the face a few times. So I'm like, let's try and go back with the kicks. Hit her in the midsection a couple of times, weaken up that section. As you can see right now, her midsection is a little bit red if you look up in the top right hand corner of where her character and their stamina bar is. Me, my arm is a little bit whacked up, but it's alright. No worries. So she's still going with those low attacks, She's trying to catch me off guard, and she did a little bit there. She hit me with a high kick to the face, but that's alright. So I'm just trying to play it safe for now. Again, just trying to go with my strategy and go low, get them off guard, and hit high. And it works in a little bit, a couple of ways here and there. So again, just really wanted to play it safe. I did want to try and attempt a takedown, but at the same time, again, I'm not very well versed on the whole mat game. She goes for a Superman punch off the cage, which is pretty freaking impressive, I have to say. And she did clip me there. Again, nobody's gotten completely rocked just yet. Just our stamina bar is getting low. We keep taking breaks, stepping back a little bit, reassessing the situation, and going in. So we both clip each other there. Again, she goes for the roundhouse kick, gets me this time. So I start throwing bombs just to try and get a little bit more damage on her. This time her arm is also a little messed up too. Her midsection is still feeling it too. So I guess maybe the next time I should try and look out for where the damage is on the opponent's body. I clipped her there with the little low kick. That was what I made mention in my previous video, where I'll try and go low and then work my way up. And it succeeds in the sense that whenever somebody goes for a kick and you go for a low kick right there on their leg, they'll usually trip and fall. And that's a very, very opportune moment if you want to kind of bum rush and hit your opponent with some bombs all around the floor, and you can probably get a knockout that way. I've done it a few times. I think I did it with my cousin when he chose Bruce Lee and I chose CM Punk. I want to say that's how I got him down. I'm not really too sure. I don't remember. Unless that was just a different fight that I didn't quite record. But it's always a good strategy. If that ever happens to you, I would definitely try and rush into it and try and see if you can get a knockout right then and there. So we go the full round. And again, it shows here, you know, me getting in, you know, a couple of offensive moves.
And here's another kick to the body.
And as you can see, just as I made mention in the video I uploaded with TJ Dillashaw, if these highlights show you more predominantly, it means that you pretty much got that round. So again, you know, pretty much what they said in the previous fight I uploaded with TJ Dillashaw. They're telling me what to do, so I'm like, you know what, let me try and do it. So this is a good way to kind of reassess the situation. If you feel like you didn't do too hot in the first round or the previous round, wherever you are in the fight, you can always kind of listen to your team and your coaches and see if maybe that strategy will kind of work going into the next round. So you know what, it's always good to give it a shot. But again, you always do have to be careful because you don't want to get too cocky. Again, show respect like you, and then your opponent gets the better of it. So she goes with the kicks again. So you know what, I decided to kind of start doing the same. I decided to get a little bit more of those inside kicks. As you can see, her inner thigh around her knee, the outer thigh rather, is bruised. I think so does mine, just like to an extent. But I tried to get her a little bit because what I really originally wanted to do was knock her down again to try and see if I can bum rush and get a KO. So she rocks me a little bit there with that kick. Trying to go in a little bit with the attacks to the midsection. Again, I get her down, but I tried to dash in and bum rush, but that didn't really quite work out to what I had planned. I get her down again, and then I go in. I do rock her a little bit, but she instantly on guard right there. So I try again. Ronda sort of misses there. She's trying to grab me. I'm trying to posture up, but she's just on me right now. She knows what I'm trying to do, or he knows that. My opponent knows what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get that easy, quick knockout. Her stamina is low. She barely is able to get that leg up. So again, she's trying to go for them kicks too. Those kicks are deadly. Cris Cyborg is nothing to mess around with. She is a beast. But again, I'm just trying to reassess the situation as I did in the beginning of the round about a minute and a half ago. And I'm just trying to do my thing. Just trying to go with my whole game plan, the same strategy that I've been working with for the past, first 2 rounds. And again, just as in the last fight, it's not a real-time clock, and there's 3 rounds. I got her with a good combination right there to the face. She took a lot of damage there. So again, we get in the clinch. As I made mention last time, this is pretty funny enough. I go for the thigh. I always try and go for the thigh clinch because you can get those knees, and that does a lot of damage, and that can get your opponent down, and you can also get a knockout just like that. So again, that's what I was trying to do, but she, again, gets on me. She's trying to go for some submission. I think what she was trying to do was go for a rear naked choke. But thankfully, I was able to get in that half guard and get out. So we stand back up again. I'm surprised she didn't go for a kick there. I feel like she could have, and she probably would have connected, and it probably would have rocked me, to be honest, if she would have went for that roundhouse kick. I most definitely feel like she would have connected. So again, this kind of seems like it's turning into a bit of a slugfest. For some reason, again, Ronda didn't go in on that moment. I feel like if I would have gotten a little bit more hits. As you can see, she's bleeding, but she's keeping her guard up, which is very smart. So rather than keep attacking her, I was going to go for the midsection, but then for some reason, it kind of broke her defense there, that guard that she had up. And she goes for the full guard. All that good stuff. We're just rolling around like 2 kids in mud. But I'm trying to keep up my defenses because I noticed that the clock is ticking. She rocked me there. My stamina is low, and the ref sounds for the bell, or the buzzer rather, and round 2 is over. So then again, we go to the highlights. Boom, right here you see, again, I'm predominantly featured in the highlights. That knee rocked her and got her down. And then it shows it again, either from a different angle, or again, I don't really remember if I did it for a second time in the
And
round.
here it is from another
But
angle.
again, as I made mention, it's all me. So if you see that it is all you in these highlights, you're doing a good job. And again, if it goes the distance, which, spoiler alert, it does in this particular fight, you're pretty much Gucci. So you don't really have to, get the knockout. As long as you can keep up your offense and keep getting in the most hits and doing the most damage, you'll get the victory via the decision by the judges. So again, one last show of respect for round 3. We're going the distance. We're going the full 3 rounds, 5 minutes. Go for the clinch again, but nothing, absolutely nothing comes out of that. And I wonder if that high kick that she threw was her game plan. Try and fake me with a clinch and then break out of it and go for that kick. Smart strategy, of course, because if I would have, made one slight little misstep, it would have connected. Could have quite possibly racked me or just done a little bit more further damage. But I'm trying to throw bombs. I'm trying to get in as much hits as I possibly can, because I know if I don't score some type of knockout or some miracle submission, which would have never happened, at least I can get that judge's decision. Again, I wish I could have finished this fight with a submission. I feel like that would have been a lot more realistic. She's trying to go for my game plan here with those high knees and the clinch, and she almost got me. I got so nervous here. This was the fight that had me sweating, like legitimately sweating. It was a very, very good fight in my opinion. So now I go for that sort of rear naked choke position. She's able to reverse, or I'm able to reverse rather, and I get on top. I posture up and I'm trying to rain down bombs. I'm trying to see if I can get that knockout, but she's good. My opponent is good. So again, it creates an interesting dynamic when your opponent is able to do whatever you're trying to do too, or they're on their game plan as well. They have their own strategy set in mind, and I'm sure just as I was doing too, they were probably listening to their team, trying to do whatever feedback that they were giving them. And again, it's there for a reason. Unfortunately, some people do decide to skip it, but I feel like you shouldn't, because it's good sound advice. They're kind of telling you how to go about winning the round, just as they do in real life. It's like, okay, you know what? Your team is observing your opponent, and they're like, hey, why don't you try this for the other? So again, I'm trying to go for my game plan here, trying to go for those knees again. I did rock her, but she was able to get out of the clinch, unfortunately. She nails me with that roundhouse kick, trying to break, gives a little bit of distance between the two of us. So I'm trying to throw bombs here, and I'm getting nervous because she's hitting these big attacks, and she's succeeding. As you can see, again, rocks me. So I'm getting nervous. I gotta keep my guard up, and I gotta back up a little bit, because again, even though I got the first 2 rounds pretty much under my belt, I don't know how the judges might score this one, because she's landing these big hits. I don't know how the whole judges score thing works out. Again, goes for the clinch. I go for the Tiger clinch. Sorry, my apologies. And I get her down again, and I think that is pretty much what probably saved me in this round. Kind of got the judges thinking, oh, okay, you know what, she's got this. And then again, I get out of here with the full guard, get on top. I'm trying to do my best to just stay in here with these last couple of seconds, and the buzzer goes off. Round 1 is all me, but she does get that Superman punch from the cage, which nailed pretty good. Round 2, boom, this is all me. So round 1 was actually, it seemed like it was her. Round 2 was me, and then it all was on this. Round 3, boom, it shows me again, getting her knocked down with that knee to the face. And I was still a little bit nervous. I wanted to say, oh yeah, no, I definitely won this, but at the same time, you never really know how these fights can always go, especially with the official decision. So Bruce Buffer's talking, all that good stuff, and then my arm gets raised in victory, and I immediately yelled yes. I was very, very, it felt like a whole weight just got lifted off my shoulders. So it was pretty cool. But again, guys, if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, please feel free to let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment, favorite this video, share with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, wherever. Make sure to subscribe to the Red Planet Gaming, join the Red Planet Army, turn on notifications if you haven't already, so you never miss an upload or live stream. Check the description box for much more good stuff, and I will catch you guys in the next video.